For a guy who was a terrific player, a guy who was around good teams, a guy who's had a terrific run in baseball and understands the game, obviously, what was the hardest adjustment from everything you knew to becoming the manager?
Well, again, I think I look more at when it was hard for me. I don't look at the game as being easy, so I understand, struggles probably more than, Paul Konerko hitting 390. So it's one of those that, for me, and looking at the game, there's pieces of it, of pitching and things like that, you rely a lot on your staff and have a lot of conversations and just getting caught up to speed on just different situations that come up.
Do you rely this year as a young in terms of a manager? Do you rely more heavily on the bench coach, on your pitching coach with the bullpen, just because this is the first go round for you?
Yeah, I think so. I think we have a lot of conversations, not just during the game, but here early before the game or even after games of going over guys that we want to use in certain situations. So it's not something that really sneaks up on us, but there's just a lot of conversations and dialogue that happen throughout the day and at night that we have a good idea what we want to do during the game.
You've had some guys, a lot of things weren't, there weren't a lot of great predictions preseason for the White Sox this year, but you've gotten a lot of performances out of a lot of guys. I mean, Dunn, obviously, with what he's done, and Konerko with the year he's having. I mean, so a lot under your guidance this year, a lot of these veteran players have really bounced back.
I think people say that, but again, it's the player that has to go out and do it. Just as a staff, we're here and giving them the opportunity to do it. But they come every day. They're pros, and whether they had a bad year or a good year, they're still coming in every day trying to compete, and that's all we can really ask of them. I think guys coming in and caring about the product that we put out there and just their effort level.
If I had told you leaving camp your team was in first place, you'd be surprised?
I'd be happy.
Now I actually looked at, because there's a big dispute about how your young star pitcher pronounces his name. I mean, I'm sure you know the official pronunciation. What is it? Is it Sale or is it Sally for Chris? Is it Sale or Sally?
Sale.
It is Sale, okay?
Yeah.
There's a big dispute. I actually was looking at it today about which is right. So it's Sale. It's Chris Sale. All right. Tell me why Chris Sale has had so much success this year.
Well, he's good. I mean, that's the first thing. I think, coming from the bullpen and becoming a starter, he in the past in the bullpen threw very hard, and I think that's what people knew him for. And now he's become quite a pitcher. I think he uses a lot of different stuff. He's not just a rear back and throw it as hard as you can. He's a very mature kid, very competitive, and has been able to use a slider, changeup, and a fastball that's really let him get through lineups 2 and 3 times. Sometimes you're in the bullpen and you're supposed to just go with the one pitch. You don't want to get beat on your second or third best pitch, and he's able to go through a lineup now and use all those different pitches, and he just is smart enough to be able to use them all.
Is it surprising to your team and to your folks there that he has been able to command as many pitches as he has this year to the extent he has?
I don't think it's a surprise. I mean, that's one of the reasons that he's been put in as a starter. I think we knew he had the ability, and it was there. It's just one of those that he was very young before, and they put him in the bullpen last couple of years, and now he's getting the opportunity to start. I think it's just a progression of him growing up.
I mean, he's had he's got a whip under one. He's got a strikeout an inning. He's got a tremendous season underway. His ERA's 2. He's had a sensational season so far.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he's done everything you could ask, and and it's something he hasn't changed. I don't think this has changed anything about him. The attitude, the way he interacts with teammates or acts in general. And I think that's part of the maturity of him is in a way, he expects that. He expects that out of himself, and kind of has that excellence on his mind of, that's the kind of pitcher he wants to be.
We're talking with Robin Ventura, obviously, who needs no introduction, but now as the White Sox manager, he has the White Sox in first place. Robin, for you, as a guy who's been through so many different kinds of seasons, when does a team who, leaving spring training, you don't know for sure what it is, when do they show you, when do you feel do you know 70 games that this team can stick? I know the Tigers haven't gotten the run that everyone expected. They expected them to run and hide in that division. It hasn't happened. Can you tell me now that you know what this team is, or do you still need to get answers about this team?
I think there's still things you have question marks about. Guys that are hitting well aren't going to necessarily keep it for the whole year, but, I have professional guys here, and that's part of the great part of our team is that we have professionals, the guys that you expect certain things from, but we do have young guys that you don't really know yet, and I think that's part of the thing you're talking about is you don't really know if that's going to stick or not. They've been able to perform so far, but the season's so long that there's going to be those little ups and downs, and we're in a little bit of a funk now. Now we get Euclid to come in and solidify one of the positions that was kind of a hole for us. That and that's only good. We look at it as that's a positive for us.
Well, that's my next question. Now Euclid comes in. Euclid, to me, has always been a winner. He's always been a gamer. He clearly had worn out his welcome there. He's probably wants to show everybody he can still get it done. You would understand Euclid very well. You were a star player. He's been a star player. You understand that mentality. He's probably a guy who has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder now, right?
Absolutely. I would think so. You haven't really had to sit down and talk to him about it, but, coming in here, it's I've been around long enough to see him play and see what he's about, and he is a pro. He comes every day. I think you never have to worry about an effort level, and that's all you can really ask of anybody is for them to be prepared, and the effort level and the intensity that he brings. That whatever the numbers are going to be, they're going to be. But the good part for us is we're getting a guy that can grind, and a lot of other guys will learn a lot from him, and I think that's a positive.